Dude, what if we had a cat? What if we had a fucking cat? The internet loves cats, don't they, guys? Let's fucking do it.
Ho, 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 ho. Delightfully devilish, Seymour.
Yes, everybody, welcome back to Delightfully Devilish, the show where we discuss films that all at once meet the criteria of being the good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm your host, Jukebox Harry, and today, now that I've explored a film about a workaholic father who isn't there for his kids and goes through a mystical body change, which also happens to star a sexual predator with Ghost Dad, I'm gonna do the exact same thing with Cat Dad. Nine Lives is a 2016 comedy film directed by Barry Sonnenfeld, the director of such films as Men in Black 3, The Addams Family films, and the Series of Unfortunate Events TV series. Unfortunately, it's also the same guy who directed Men in Black 2, Wild Wild West, and RV. I don't understand why this film was made. It completely copies the formula established by the 1956 Disney comedy The Shaggy Dog, which has been done to death. I don't see anything original coming from it, and apparently neither did any of the critics or the audiences who actually saw it. Also, it actually starred Kevin Spacey at a high point in his career. This is after he won 2 Oscars and was still starring in the Golden Globe winning TV series House of Cards, which he was brilliant on, and before he was outed as a sexual predator. I mean, he barely has any screen time in this film, so it was probably just that kind of easy paycheck, but still, very lazy kind of paycheck. Also, I want to thank my friend James Brown for recommending me this film, and for providing me with my new friend, Smiley McGhostface over here. This man, he knows the kinds of films I want to talk about on this show, and twice after Cool Cat Saves the Kids has he recommended to me terrible comedies about cats. There seems to be a recurring theme on Delightfully Devilish as a whole, if you consider that I've also done The Cat in the Hat. Feline comedies are just, they're not the way to go in Hollywood. The film begins with an ad for French film company EuropaCorp. This seems highly appropriate for a Kevin Spacey movie because EuropaCorp founder Luc Besson was also accused of sexual assault in 2018. The company's stock actually fell 17% after these allegations.
This put a smile on my face.
Once the film starts, we're treated to a montage of internet cat videos, which immediately screams of desperation. When you can't come up with an effective intro and have to rely on viral videos, that is a clear sign of shortcomings in writing. It was the exact same case with the film We're the Millers.
People are so desperate for someone to hold on to, they'll take whatever they can get.
Oh, I bet you didn't think that line was going to come back to bite you, did you, Spacey?
A cat is not a person.
Really? I had no idea. Did you know that Anthony Rapp was a person when you tried to sexually assault him? An underage person? The film begins with some obviously lackluster CGI, which pans up onto Kevin Spacey, who is obviously not on a real plane.
Fire the marketing department.
You want to fire the entire marketing department?
No, I want to fly a real F-16.
Kevin Spacey plays Tom Brand, a business tycoon who for some reason has workplace conversations with his son while preparing to skydive into very obviously chroma keyed footage.
Good one, Dad.
No, it wasn't. Apparently the skydiving is all part of an expertly choreographed publicity stunt. So this film opens with a montage of viral cat videos and a poorly CGI'd skydiving stunt. Already this feels like an attempt to distract audiences from a script which probably has very little ideas.
The Firebrand Tower will be the tallest building in North America.
Any comment on the Paragon Tower?
Oh, you mean that tin shack they're gluing together over there in Chicago? No comment on that.
Rumor is they're beating you by 60 feet.
Tom also has a wife and daughter.
And that means that we can finally move out of that dump we've all been forced to work in all these years down the block.
How many times have you watched this?
83.
Wow, you need to get a fucking hobby.
100 years from now, when people look out their windows and they see that tower, they're going to see the name Brand, and that's a name they will never forget.
Brand name. Yeah, you know, I bet they thought that was funny.
I got you something.
Ah, toxic masculinity. Classic.
Oh, excuse me, have you seen my wife anywhere?
No, I believe you choose to live your life as a gay man.
We are a month away from opening the tallest building in North...
Do you think maybe he's compensating for something?
Everyone asks me why my husband is hosting a charity event. The truth is, Tom loves children.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, my heart. Oh, fucking hell. Kevin Spacey, you actually let them leave that line in there.
I don't get it.
She just burned your dad.
Yeah, she really did, and not in the way that the writers intended.
Please welcome my husband, a real pussycat, Tom Brands.
That seemed unnecessary.
The one thing that Tom's daughter Rebecca wants for her birthday is a cat.
I will think about it. How about that?
Instead, he gets his business team to come up with different ideas.
Get her jewelry. Girls love jewelry.
Pull some strings with Apple, get her a prototype of the new iPhone.
Have you tried asking Rebecca what she wants?
Yeah, she wants a cat.
Well, that's in your price range.
I hate cats. They puke all over the house. They shed all over everything. I got an ex-wife, a wife, and 2 kids. I don't need another thing to feed.
What about a pony?
Then we meet Tom's ex-wife Madison, who along with her daughter Nicole are symbolic of some of the worst kinds of white women in the world. And for some reason, they both still play a prominent role in the life of Tom's new family.
The day Tom and I divorced was the happiest day of my life. I want that happiness for you.
Seriously, why are you still a part of his life, especially if you have that attitude towards him?
I love your room. Thank you. My dad actually likes spending time with me, so he never has to buy me off.
Yes, because children most definitely speak like that. Tom goes to a strange cat shop run by Felix Perkins, portrayed by Christopher Walken.
I know you from somewhere. I'm Tom Brand. I own Firebrand. I use newspaper in the poopy boxes, and I see your face all the time.
This film actually got Christopher Walken to say the words poopy boxes. That is just awful.
You don't pick a cat, the cat picks you. Look, I make $1 million decisions for lunch. I'm pretty sure I can pick out a cat.
$1 million decision for what kind of a sentence is that? Do you also eat pieces of shit like him for breakfast? And when you think about it, the whole conversation between these two features the bad guy from Superman Returns and the bad guy from Batman Returns. Batman Returns versus Superman Returns. Dawn of the Return. Honestly, it couldn't be worse than the actual Batman v Superman. Tom picks out a cat named Mr. Fuzzypants.
See that? He likes you. It figures because he's attracted to troubled souls. Used up 7 lives already.
Then why is the film called 9 Lives? I mean, I get where it's coming from, but like, still, be consistent.
My name is Perkins, so I call my store Perkins.
Hey, that's like a pun, only shit.
Instead of going to his daughter's birthday party, Tom goes up to the top of his tower to confront manager Ian Cox, who failed to deliver on his promise to build a taller building than the one competing in Chicago. Lightning strikes, which knocks Tom to the end of the building.
Oh yeah, you're firing me? Take my hand!
Tom and Mr. Fuzzypants fall, but miraculously swing through a window.
Seriously?
What a twist.
It's just a bad dream.
Yep, that's exactly what this entire movie is. Tom can only communicate through meows, which he does endlessly to the point that it's really annoying, but you can only hear the meows when you can't actually see the cat's mouth moving.
Leave me with me!
You can hear me? Shh, I'm a cat whisperer.
God damn it, Christopher Walken should really know better than to get involved with mystical cats again after what happened in Batman Returns. But also, the last time he played a man trying to help a workaholic father reconnect with his family in some kind of weird fantasy comedy, he played the Angel of Death in Click. We really should not trust this guy. Perkins tells him that his human body won't last long and that he has to learn a lesson before he'll be transferred back into it. Back at home, Tom tries to write a letter, and in this scene you can see a very clear contrast between when they've used live action footage and when it's just a CGI cat. Approximately 70% of the cat footage in this film is computer animated, and EuropaCorp rarely uses groundbreaking CGI, but in this low budget $30 million production, it's particularly far from impressive.
Dear Laura, don't panic. It's Tom. I seem to be trapped in the body of a cat. This is not a joke. Your loving husband, Tom. Okay, that didn't work. Although, not bad for a cat.
Oh, I get it. I get jokes.
When is Daddy gonna come home?
Just as soon as he wakes up.
They should use a really big alarm clock.
You'd be a great doctor.
No, she wouldn't. That would alarm the patients. Haha, get it? Alarm the patients? In a taste of irony, the only one who sleeps in a bed with a child in this movie is Jennifer Garner. Bet Kevin Spacey had some pretty mad envy. Most of the jokes in 9 Lives are just terrible CGI slapstick cat jokes, such as Tom trying to drink scotch in cat form, and occasionally there's a cat pun thrown in there. But the only time I ever laughed while watching this movie was when I could connect any of the dialogue to Kevin Spacey being a pedophile. And unfortunately, there's not much of it.
If I'm in a cat's body, is a cat in my body?
A good question. For another time.
This scene concludes with a drunken, poorly CGI'd cat encountering a poorly CGI'd trash can.
The design is really good. Picture of cat. The internet's gonna love this shit.
Looks like a cat already ate this.
Bon appetit.
French. That'll sell this stuff.
Yeah, let me contrast this by showing you an actually funny joke about cat food.
If I was hungry and the cat food was there, I'd eat it. And if I couldn't go to sleep, you would? I would eat the cat food and go to sleep.
Because it might make you go to sleep. In what scenario do you not eat the cat food?
I would always eat the cat food.
No.
Tom wants to eat something else.
Fruity Pebbles.
Do they make MRIs for cats?
You mean CAT scans?
Take a shot every time they make a cat pun. The alcohol will make this film a lot more tolerable.
Can you please take them away? They're really scaring him. They have a very strong sense about other animals.
They can probably tell that the cat is a child molester. Dogs really have good senses about people. Tom's ex-wife comes over again. Still, I don't know why she's an active presence in his life. Tom goes and pees in her purse, but rather than trying to get away with it, he actually draws attention to it, thus putting himself in danger. And then the next morning...
Rebecca Allison Brand, your cat destroyed the Yellow Pages.
What's the Yellow Pages?
This is why we should hate kids.
We lose one floor,
It buys us this.
that's gonna collapse.
Not if we use titanium.
Why don't we just build it out of gold?
That's gold, Jerry. Gold!
I get it, because cats always land on their feet, but that guy's technically a human. Perkins comes by again and tells him that if he doesn't behave himself, he won't learn the lesson and therefore won't be returned to his human body. So Tom finally starts behaving and eating the cat food, while the acting manager of Tom's company is preparing to sell it while chief shareholder is in a coma. And his wife has also been having an affair, but not anymore.
What's changed is I am this shaggy gremlin, and even when he's stalking me, he's a constant reminder the last thing Tom did was for his daughter.
Getting a cat fixes a marriage. Yeah, write that down, everyone. Everyone who thinks that having a baby will fix a relationship. Yeah, try a cat first.
I was just visiting Daddy. He is still sleeping.
He's getting better though, right?
His body's getting better, but he's been sleeping so long. Dr. Cole doesn't know if he's gonna wake up.
But he could.
See, here we have a theme which could actually give the film some credibility. Nine Lives could actually take the time to deal with the concept of a girl possibly losing her father, but it doesn't even have the conviction to try and be anything more than a generic comedy. And it doesn't even succeed at doing that. Then Rebecca watches a video of her as a child dancing with her pedophile father, which despite being a home movie has apparently been shot on the same high definition camera as this entire movie. And of course, it's to the song Three Cool Cats.
Hey, my mom said you needed company right now, so I'm volunteering my time.
Why do you keep coming over?
I can't believe you just did that!
Almost word for word from Ghost Dad.
I cannot believe that you did that!
Then Tom is wandering through his workplace, and before you can even see what this woman is laughing at, you can tell that it's a cat video. And it just so happens to be of Mr. Fuzzypants.
I never saw Tom hug David.
I'm not much of a hugger.
I keep wanting to call child services.
Kevin Spacey versus Child Services, top 10 anime battles.
What's this?
When your father was just starting off, he couldn't think of a name for the company, and then one day you drew a picture of him. He was never there, but he loved you.
Isn't your entire arc in the film just to be a bitch? Why are you suddenly so wholesome? Rebecca somehow becomes highly suspicious of the plot in this movie and ends up back at Perkins.
Look who's back.
I knew you'd be back. Look who's here.
Are all these cats just communicating with human voices because Kevin Spacey can understand them? Or do these all have human souls trapped inside of them? Yeah, is Mr. Perkins some kind of evil soul collector who traps the souls of people in cats and keeps them hostage in his store? Jesus, this movie's more seedy than I thought.
I know it's stupid, but sometimes I feel like my dad's looking out for me through the cat.
Oh, how convenient.
By reenacting the dance with the cat, she finally confirms her suspicions.
I spent my whole life waiting for a sign that I was making you proud. When I finally got it, I let you down.
Oh yeah, there's a whole subplot in this movie about Tom's son who feels he's never good enough and gets fired from the company.
So I'm gonna take my first jump. And my last jump.
So this is meant to be a kids movie that can't even deal with the theme of loss, and suddenly we're going to put suicide in there. Who let that get past the first draft? Seriously. Rather than proving he's trapped in a cat's body and saving himself, he instead chooses to chase after his own son.
Wait, this is the best part.
This is bad comedy.
Along the way, he gets thrown into the trash, and then a security guard tries to taser him. Jesus, everyone is just so vindictive in the world of Nine Lives. Somehow he convinces the security guards to take him to the roof, where he jumps after his son, who turns out to have had a parachute on the whole time, which the TV cameras somehow failed to pick up earlier. So he was just parachuting in a tenuous display of bravery the whole time, and the film decided to pull a bait and switch on you and make you think that he was gonna kill himself in a fucking kids movie.
You were a man all along.
Yes, stop imposing toxic masculinity on everyone, Mr. Fuzzypants. I don't know where the cat goes, but Tom wakes up in his human body again. His son saves the company and doesn't get in any trouble for base jumping without a permit. Ian gets hit by a car and wakes up in the body of celebrity cat Lil Bub. Later, Tom goes back to Perkins' store.
We were wondering...
If you have any dogs. No.
No, Kevin Spacey, it's a cat store. They readopt Mr. Fuzzypants, the end. Is Nine Lives a good film?
No.
I remember my first exposure to Nine Lives was when the trailer for the film came out in 2016, and there was one joke from the trailer that always stood out for me.
Gotta show them I'm human.
They literally reversed the footage of a cat doing a pull-up. That joke was so bad that they didn't leave it in the film, but they left everything else in. Jesus Christ. Nine Lives has literally no reason to validate its existence in the first place. This story has been told countless times before, better many times, and rarely worse. Kevin Spacey portrays an arrogant and unlikable protagonist who rarely ever develops beyond that, and it's all the more difficult to like him now that we know he's a diddler in real life. The story never develops any of its drama, it actually uses a bait and switch with the idea of suicide. The extent of his wife's affair is never fully explained and just casually gets forgotten about. Why his ex-wife keeps coming back goes beyond me. God damn it, no, this film is just a mess. It's an unfunny recycled formula full of underdeveloped subplots, terrible CGI, plot holes, and not even enough lines that I can actually turn into jokes about Kevin Spacey being a sexual predator. At least when Bill Cosby makes bad movies, he has enough lines in there that I connect to the fact that he's a rapist. Kevin Spacey doesn't even have that, so there's really nothing I can talk about in this movie beyond recounting its ridiculous narrative, because I don't want to force anything. That's what Kevin Spacey does. Zynga! 9 Lives Gets One Life. It's not one of the absolute worst movies I've ever seen, but there's nothing about it that I can recommend on a level that's even ironic, because it's just that much of an unfunny mess. And that does it for today's episode of Delightfully Devilish, you guys. If there are any movies you want to see me discuss on this show, please leave them in the comment section below. If you want to see more episodes of this show, please hit that subscribe button. Otherwise, until next time, I've been your host, Jukebox Harry. Peace.